This book is called Little Brown Bear, and this is a special book. This is super old. Right here it says Harvey and Donnie Durst, and it has their address. And it says Yellowstone Park, July 28th, 1936. That's my grandpa Harvey and my great uncle. And my grandma, who is 91 years old, my grandma Sarah, shared this story with me. And the author is Gage. One day, Mr. and Mrs. Black Bear are walking through the woods. They saw a little brown bear coming towards them. When they met the little bear, Mr. Black Bear said, "Good morning." Little brown bear said, "Where are you going?" "I'm going out for a walk." "Where do you live, little brown bear?" "Here in the woods." "What?" exclaimed Mrs. Black Bear. "Don't you have a house? Where are your father and mother?" "I haven't any house or father or mother. I just live by myself in the woods." "Dear, dear, isn't that too bad?" said Mrs. Black Bear. "I wish you could come to live with us." "So do I," said Mr. Black Bear. "Won't you come, little brown bear?" "Maybe I will. I'll come to see. Where do you live?" "We live in the little white house just across the brook. You'll surely come, won't you, little brown bear?" "Yes, I'll come soon. Goodbye." "Goodbye," said Mr. and Mrs. Black Bear. That afternoon, while Mr. Black Bear was working in the garden, Mrs. Black Bear baked some ginger cookies. Suddenly, she heard a little rap-a-tap-tap at the door. When she opened it, there stood Little Brown Bear. "Oh, I'm glad you've come, Little Brown Bear. Come right in and sit down. Wouldn't you like some ginger cookies?" "Yes, thank you," answered Little Brown Bear. "They smell very good." Mrs. Black Bear put 3 big fat ginger cookies on a plate and gave them to the little bear. "Do you like milk, Little Brown Bear?" she asked. "Oh, yes, I do like milk." "I guess all little bears like cookies and milk," said Mrs. Black Bear. "Now, wouldn't you like to go out in the garden and see what Mr. Bear is doing?" Little Brown Bear went out to the garden. Mr. Black Bear had a very good garden. He showed Little Brown Bear the lettuce bed and rows of onions, radishes, carrots, cabbages, and sweet corn. "Here is a cherry tree, and there is a little peach tree," said Mr. Black Bear. "What kind of a tree is that big one on the side of the house?" "That is an old apple tree. If I had a little bear, I'd put up a swing there for him." Little Brown Bear looked at the apple tree and thought it would be a good place to swing. He looked at the soft green grass and thought there would be so much fun to turn somersaults there. He looked at the little white house with the green lawn and the white fence around it and a pretty little gate and thought how cozy they looked. Just then, Mrs. Bear came to the door and called, "Supper is ready." So they went in for supper. They each had a big bowl of mush and milk, a plate of hot biscuits and honey, blackberry pie, fresh ginger cookies, and a big glass of milk. Mr. Black Bear had to put cushions on the chair for Little Brown Bear, for the chairs were all made for big bears. And such a big bowl for Little Brown Bear's mush and milk, and such a big spoon, he could hardly get it into his mouth. "If you'll come to live with us, we'll get things for a little bear," said Mrs. Black Bear. After they had eaten supper, they went into the living room and sat down. But the chairs were very, very large. Mr. Black Bear soon asked Little Bear if he would stay all night, and Little Brown Bear said he would. "Come to live with us, and we'll get you a little bed." And when they went to bed, they could hardly see Little Brown Bear. They had such a big bed for big bears. Mrs. Brown Bear laughed and said, "We'll have to shake the sheets to find you in the morning, Little Bear." Next morning, Little Brown Bear said, "I will stay and be your little bear." "Oh, I'm so glad," said Mr. and Mrs. Black Bear at once. After breakfast, they went to the biggest store in Bear Town to buy things for Little Brown Bear. They bought a little silver knife, fork and spoon, a little blue bowl, and a little glass mug. They bought a high chair and a little rocking chair and a little straight chair and a little white bed. And they were all very happy. That night, Little Brown Bear went to sleep in a little white bed all his own. The end.